Hey guys, welcome to a new movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about a film that's actually up on Netflix right now. Depending on when you watch this, hopefully it's still on Netflix by the time most of you have seen this review. I think May 3rd is roughly when this film came up on Netflix, or was uploaded to it anyway. But in this film, you guys, it's actually based off of the life of the infamous serial killer Ted Bundy. And what makes this film in particular kind of unique is this film actually has the same director as a documentary series that was uploaded to Netflix called the Ted Bundy tapes. And that was about a journalist who kind of got real information out of Ted Bundy the best we could, the most he was willing to admit off of his kills and stuff like that. But what's interesting about this in particular film, like I said, not only is it by the same director as that documentary series, um, it's in the perspective of Ted Bundy's like long-term girlfriend, who kind of didn't believe any of this happening at all around the time that all this was happening, with him being reported doing all the kills and stuff like that. So that's really what this film is about. It's really about the girlfriend kind of coming to terms of, did Ted Bundy really do this? Are people just kind of using this as a publicity stunt since he matches the sketch of the police department of kind of the best sketch they could get off of the person who was doing all this. So there was kind of all these questions being thrown up in the air. Obviously, Ted Bundy really did do all this, but the long-term girlfriend really kind of didn't want to come to terms with this at all or anything like that. So that's kind of what this film is about, is Ted really telling the truth? Is Ted really doing all these really horrible things? And so you kind of come to your own conclusion by the time the film is over with. And obviously he did really do all this stuff, but there's so many things in the movie where he's really kind of playing the girlfriend out the best he can and kind of trying to stretch out the truth the best he can and try to avoid really revealing that he was doing all these really bad things. So overall, guys, I really enjoyed this film a lot. I thought it did depict the best it could, kind of this time period within Ted Bundy's life. I did see the Ted Bundy tapes documentary, and I actually did like that documentary better than this film in particular, and it even had the same director, like I said, and everything like that. I thought the documentary did a better job kind of detailing what exactly he was doing that was really bad. It felt a little bit more truthful because there was actually police department documentation in it and things like that, and the girlfriend and the other girlfriend that he had while he was during the court trial weren't trying to cover anything up for him or anything like that. It was just more, I got more information out of it, and so it actually helped me watch this film better. It kind of gave me more of a perspective on things where this film really didn't give you as much detail on certain things. Like, you'll see Ted Bundy drive away in a car. You really won't know what that is until you see like the documentary, or at least know a little bit about Ted Bundy to kind of have context of what exactly is happening and stuff like that. But I really like this film, and let's go over some positives and negatives of the things I liked and didn't like about this biopic film about Ted Bundy. So first and foremost, Zac Efron was really good as Ted Bundy. He really was very scary. There was even a documentary, or not a documentary, but a scene in that documentary I mentioned earlier that is a real tape of Ted Bundy being interviewed while being in prison. And it's about him kind of believing that he's innocent, and he's just kind of there to fulfill the police department's needs and kind of get the suspect out the door and in jail and stuff like that. There's that scene in particular where he's being interviewed, the way that they do Efron's beard and the way they have him sitting, and even the shirt they got him to wear that Bundy was wearing during that same interview. It looks exactly the same. So I like how to the point Zac Efron was to really kind of be as creepy, be as specific, have the same mannerisms. He really did everything he could to be as Ted Bundy as he could for this role, and I thought he did a terrific job in this movie. Lily Collins from The Blind Side has a role in this film. She plays that long-term girlfriend that is a single mother that dates Ted Bundy throughout the course of this movie. I thought she was very good. One thing they actually did with her that was more so a compliment for her makeup artist, but she played it out the best she could too, was on scenes where she's really sad or really not sure how she feels about Ted Bundy after a while, or scenes where she's drinking a lot. They really kind of make her look more pale, and they have her lips a little more dainted in color and stuff like that. So they really did everything they could to kind of show that she was this really gorgeous girl back when she met Ted Bundy. Still is that same gorgeous girl you knew all along. But the more she kind of came to terms of what Ted Bundy was doing and how she really feel the way everybody else did, that he really was doing these really bad things. Um, I thought that kind of evolution of her character throughout the film was done really well. Whether it was her makeup artist or her doing it or her really feeling sad, and there's even a scene where she has a breakdown about the whole thing, and she's really convincing in this role. So I thought she did a terrific job in this role too. And even on the scenes too, where this is for my next point, the romance chemistry between Efron and Collins, I thought was very convincing. I actually kind of felt invested in the two of them. There's even scenes where you kind of have to remind yourself that you are watching a Ted Bundy movie, which is something I think people are going to like and not like about this biopic film. Is there are scenes that kind of make, I wouldn't say make Ted Bundy more likable, but there's more scenes here where it gives you context of kind of where that girlfriend was, where he would just kind of come home and just be another regular guy like any other person would be. And she really just saw her lover, her boyfriend, and really nothing else. Um, so I thought that they really showed that side of her life really well, of just how she really didn't believe for the longest of time he was doing really horrible kills and stuff like that, that he really was just this guy she was seeing and made her feel better and stuff like that. So I really like the romance chemistry between Efron and Collins in this movie. The film also depicts really well the evil of Ted Bundy. It really does show you, too, when he's not around the girlfriend, when it's just Ted Bundy being himself and doing these horrible kills and going kind of on his kill streaks like he always was. They really do show kind of that dark side of him. They really do show just how horrible he would be, how awful he would be when trying to escape a prison, or when he got a lawyer and was just really rude to them and just really tried to get his way any way he could. They really do depict the evil side of Ted Bundy in this film, and they do it very well. They also kind of show how Ted Bundy really tried to stretch those lies the best he could to make it feel like the truth, even though it wasn't. The film really does play off of the fact that he's trying to lie and lie and lie every step of the way he can, and really kind of pull the court system any way he could to kind of make the court trial go on longer, to make sure he doesn't get the electric chair and all this other stuff. So I thought the way that the film handles that he basically lied as much as he could to get out of this, I thought was handled very well. For my negatives of this movie, though, I thought some of the editing was kind of choppy. It just didn't... there's scenes where they're trying to make it look like the last conversation that the girlfriend and Ted Bundy ever had is kind of intertwined with past events and things like that. And they kind of drop that idea after a while. They don't really go back to it until the end of the movie. And it just feels kind of choppy in the editing room as a result, as we go back to this current time and then back to the past, back to the current time, back to the past, back to the current time. And it just kind of feels a little choppy after a while. And like I said, they do completely drop it after a while too. So I thought some of the editing could have been a lot better in this movie. And this is kind of a weird negative, but for being a film about Ted Bundy, one of the most infamous serial killers in history, there's really not a lot of scenes where he's out committing a murder or out killing somebody. There's scenes where he's definitely trying to cover up his evidence, or trying to escape from the police, or trying to escape from a prison. But there's not a lot of scenes where we see Ted Bundy do Ted Bundy stuff, which is a relief, because I kind of don't need to see that. But at the same time, though, it hurts the film, because so much of the film is about, is the girlfriend going to believe the truth about him? Is she just kind of going to deny it the whole time? There's just so many scenes where, because it is about Ted Bundy, doing a film where it's almost completely murder-free as far as showing you the kills and stuff like that, just felt a little weird to me. And it does kind of hurt the argument of, is the girlfriend going to believe the truth or not? So that's one aspect of the film I thought they could have improved, just because I think it would have been a better film if we got more of Ted Bundy doing Ted Bundy stuff. Another negative I had is, because the director of this film also worked on that Ted Bundy tapes documentary, this feels like a simplified version of that documentary he just worked on. So in a way, it almost kind of felt like he was remaking his own films at time, or his own film at time. And I don't know, I think you should just watch the documentary more than anything if you really don't want to see this in particular film. I thought they did a great job for what they were doing here, and like I said, they really do have the whole argument of, is the girlfriend going to believe her or not? But it does kind of come up as a simplified documentary at times because a lot of the material covered here is also covered in that documentary that was just made. So I would say watch the documentary over this, or I would say watch the documentary and then watch this movie just because it feels more like a companion piece as a result. That's just my personal preference. I feel like it would give you more context going into this film if you saw that documentary before watching this. I also thought Haley Joel Osment's character, as much as they kind of needed him to kind of show that this girl kind of moved on with her life and got through the Ted Bundy court trials the best she could and stuff like that. Really, he was just kind of there to be the coworker slash boyfriend, or the eventual new boyfriend. And I felt like his character was just kind of worthless. Like, it was just kind of the character that kind of helped her realize to kind of get over this and to move on and to focus on the two of them instead of her and Ted Bundy. And I thought there needed more context as to why his character existed in the story and in the script, rather than just being the new boyfriend after she moved on from Ted Bundy. So my personal preference there. I like Haley Joel Osment as an actor, more so when he was a child actor over now, obviously. But I just thought his character was kind of worthless overall in this movie. So Extremely Wicked, and I don't even remember the whole title. I got to get the whole title for this film. I don't even remember the whole thing. It's like Extremely Wicked. Here we go. Just one second. Here. So, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. Very long title for this movie. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I really like this film. There's things about it I feel like you could just go back and watch that Ted Bundy tapes documentary on Netflix instead. That series. You'll get more out of it, I feel. And they kind of go over what exactly he was doing that was really bad. Really like this movie, though. Zac Efron, Lily Collins, everybody involved did great performances overall for the most part. But the editing is very choppy. You really don't see any kills in this movie. And as a result, it doesn't really feel like a Ted Bundy film at times. It does kind of come off as a simplified documentary. And Haley Joel Osment's character, I thought, needed more purpose in this movie. But 8.5 out of 10 for me. I like this film. If you have Netflix, I think it is worth checking out. Like I said, it is more of a companion film to that Ted Bundy's Tapes documentary. So I would say watch that first before watching this one. But 8.5 out of 10 for me. Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile gets an 8.5 out of 10. I like it. If you have Netflix, I feel it is worth checking out.